Welcome to my review of the Whizzer Kylin HE01. As a full disclaimer, I bought these in the recent AliExpress anniversary sale. All the thoughts and opinions are my own, and obviously I was not paid for this video. So yeah, these are a single dynamic driver, which is obviously my preference. And as you'll see in a second, it's actually quite premium for what the actual cost is. But anyway, let's get into the video. So let's see what you get. Kylin, if it'll focus. High fidelity, high res audio, if that really makes any difference. So specs, 4th gen driver, Kylin, if it's going to focus, HE01, 5N OFC cable, 20Hz to 40 kHz, 112 decibels of sensitivity. The 107 decibels is the maximum sound pressure level, and 18 ohm impedance. It's kind of hard to read, but these are the bright sieves of dual cavity drive units. Talking about basically a metal film on poly for a diaphragm. If you'll catch it, it's kind of hard to read. 0.78 pin type. Equipped with a HDSS acoustic filtering system. It says that a high definition sound standard, and it can be used in a few places. I don't know why it says there's an actual what it supports for. I don't really see that. But if it's got a 3.5, it'll work. There's some information on the bottom. QR codes. Website to get into it. And a authenticity, that's the one, sticker. Kylin acoustic, ACOS ITIC. So yep. So yeah, quite a nice bit of packaging. They are actually that small, which I'll show you in a bit. In here, because the camera's in the way, it's just, I guess, colourful, innovative. There's a bit of a space between the C and O. If I can even get it out. So look, taped. Quick is spelt wrong. Quick start guide. They should really get these checked before they do anything. There is 2 sets of tips which are shown a bit. Instructions, storage box, how they fit, how the cable works. Information, electrostatic. That's it. Guarantee card. Yeah, so in reality, really, they should really get things just proofread. I like how there's a little bit of bling to it, but you can actually see the driver, which is kind of cool. 2-pin, which is good. So that's got R. The other one doesn't say anything. You can see. Good thick nozzles, and there's a lip on there to keep the tips on. Kind of cool. So that's what you get. Storage box and cable. Metal. Kylin acoustic. Rubber seal. Slight bit of padding at the bottom. So yeah, for the price, I paid just over, I think, £50 in the anniversary sale. These are quite premium. It's got a brush. Vocal cord tip. And reference tip. So it looks like the vocal tip, the actual ball is slightly smaller than the reference. So that's quite interesting. So you get quite a few goodies with this one. So 2-pin, that kind of reminds me of like the Audio Sense, kind of the angle, but 2-pin, 3.5, chin slider, looks good. So in the next clip I'm going to open this cable up and actually see what it's actually like. So to be honest, this is quite a nice cable. It's good to see that so many companies now are actually supplying proper cables. So 3.5 straight, nice grip, I've never seen that before. Strain relief, kind of a slightly kind of copper colour. I don't know if it'll show on the camera. No kinks or anything like that. It's good to see, like, you don't have to spend any more money for like third-party cables. Strain relief, HE01, chin slider, which works not great but better than nothing. Came with a you can see then a little protective cover for the actual 3.5. Red indicator for right, which is kind of cool. It didn't actually state on there which side. I think that's why they put the red indicator on for right. But yeah, nice cable. The ear hook seems to be quite good. And yeah, good stuff, good cable. Now on to the review section. I wanted to show you how it looks like with the cable fitted. So you can see got the 2 dots. This is how it actually looks fitted. It's quite a neat look. So 2-pin. And this is actually goes over the connector. So if you can see through a camera lens, that's it. But all the 2 pins do fit. That's just how it looks like. So I like that. It's very it blends in quite well. So yeah, on to the actual review. Nice cable. So onto the Whizzer Kylin HE01, which is quite a name. Take when this tips off. So thick nozzle, single DD, as you can see. Obviously there's the vent for it. There's the one for right. Left doesn't have it. Just has a white dot. Very straightforward. They kind of keep it more subtle. That's the shape, that's kind of the angle. Comfort, I had no issues at all for comfort. Comfort was actually quite good, as I expected. Isolation, again, was quite good. Not the best, not the worst. Isolation was good. Actually, let's just get into the sound. So what the sound of these is V-shaped, is probably the best way to describe it. So it has a elevated mid-bass. And obviously elevated sub-bass. Tiny sub-bass roll-off, but probably most people won't really notice. So yeah, elevated mid-bass, bleeds a little bit into the lower mids, but it's not too bad. It can be a good thing. It stops things sounding thin if the bass shelf is very precise. Yeah, so elevated mid-bass. Really good decay. It's not the best I've seen, but it's up there. It's pretty good. Then yeah, elevated upper mids. So female vocals especially are forward, which tends to be the typical kind of V-shape tuning. But yeah, so female vocals was clear forward. Probably a little bit too forward personally for my preference, but that's just me. But if you do like you forward mids, well, forward upper mids, then these are ones for you. But female voices are good. Male voices was okay. Probably not as forward as female because obviously the elevation. But yeah, it's quite a, that's what the drive looks like. You can see there's like the black part in the middle. They actually allegedly use their own dynamic driver, which is kind of cool. They call their driver the Bright driver. So yeah, mids are alright. It kind of elevated a bit much more than my personal preference, but then again, you might like that. Lower treble, these are elevated in the lower treble. So it gives you, some things are forward and gives that more forward kind of, they do give like a detailed presentation, and I found these a little hard to power, but they wasn't overly difficult, but it's harder to power than I expected. But yet instrument separation was good, not the best I've seen, but still good for the price. I paid around, I think £50, £51 in the AliExpress sale. But yet stage, instruments, everything was clear. Everything, like, they didn't really do much wrong. The tuning is just personally kind of not what I'm looking for. Not my kind of preference. But Whizzer, this is the first item I've ever tried. Oops, that threw the camera out. I do like the unique look. They're a good fit, they're a good build. They're very straightforward, as you can see. I say for the price, really nice presentation. Good good cable, my mistake. I'm looking at a table. But yeah, good cable, good tips, carry case. It's all the complete presentation you want. And for like low 50 kind of pounds, it was quite good. Can't really, but yeah, on the whole, these are actually quite good. But if it was my preference, I'd probably lower if it's going to focus. If you, obviously EQ is your friend. If it was me, I'd probably lower the lower treble a little bit, and the upper mids probably a touch to make it probably a little bit smoother in its presentation. Sometimes it feels like it sounds a little coarse, just a touch coarse, but that's just from my testing and what I listen to. But yeah, on the whole, these are what the tips look like. This is the reference tip. It's a normal silicone tip. But yeah, on the whole, they're actually quite a good set. Not perfect, but for like the £50 kind of mark, they are not too bad. Obviously EQ, like I said, is your best friend, but overall they're not too bad. It's a shame. I need to see what Whizzer make after this, but this seems to be allegedly, I think, their 4th generation driver, and again, it's supposed to be their own. So that's what it looks like. 2-pin, which is good. But yeah, compared to something like the Audio Sense AQ0, I think somebody wanted a really quick comparison, but the Audio Sense, they actually suffer from driver flex. They both have nice cables. This is, I think, a little better because it's 2-pin that uses MMCX. But the actual sound, I kind of prefer the tonality a bit of the Audio Sense AQ0. Just a really quick summary. But anyway, back to this. But yeah, they're not a bad. It's not a bad one. And yeah, on to the conclusion. So my conclusion of the Whizzer Kylin HE01. These are a pretty decent dynamic driver and package for like £50-ish. But then again, I did buy these slightly cheaper when they was in an AliExpress, the anniversary sale. Yeah, on the whole, I think slight EQ will solve these, but as you can see, they do look great. They come with everything you need, so like a good cable, good tips, a carry case. You know, it's got everything that you need. You don't need to invest any more money. They do have a brighter presentation. Obviously, it's a V-shaped sound as well, so they've elevated low end. And yeah, on the whole, they were a good set. They're not a great set, but they are good enough for the price. and that's what they look like. Really nice, I say, overall nice presentation. And yeah, thanks for watching and take care.